Hi, presentation 101 with Beth, but first watch this.
And the sun has therewith traversed the divisions of his orbit, and turns again on those divisions of his orbit, and enters that portal 30 mornings, and sets also in the west opposite to it. And on that night has the night decreased in length by a ninth part, and the night has become 11 parts, and the day 7 parts. And the sun has returned and entered into the second portal in the east, and returns on those divisions of his orbit for 30 mornings, rising and setting. And on that day the night decreases in length, and the night amounts to 10 parts, and the day to 8. And on that day the sun rises from that portal, and sets in the west, and returns to the east, and rises in the third portal for 31 mornings, and sets in the west of the heaven. On that day the night decreases and amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts, and the night is equal to the day, and the year is exactly as to its days 364. And the length of the day and of the night, and the shortness of the day and of the night arise. Through the course of the sun these distinctions are made. So it comes that its course becomes daily longer, and its course nightly shorter. And this is the law and the course of the sun. In his return as often as he returns 60 times and rises, the great luminary which is named the sun for ever and ever. And that which thus rises is the great luminary, and is so named according to its appearance, according as the Lord commanded. As he rises, so he sets, and decreases not, and rests not, but runs day and night, and his light is 7-fold brighter than that of the moon. But as regards size, they are both equal.
Sorry, my drawing's not the flattest, but prior to me coming on now, you saw a short clip of a video I did a while back explaining the luminaries and the tracks. So from there I'd just like to try and explain that in God's creation, this is what I believe. This is all with earth underneath. This is all covered with a canopy like possibly plasma film with a centerpiece, if you can imagine a marquee with a centerpiece, which I believe is like an entrance area into heaven. Now this is God's setup. This is not the demonic one that we're seeing at the moment, because I believe that they've basically built their own setup in between God's setup and us, is what we're seeing at the moment. As of they've slowly developed this and slowly fulfilled their goal, which will fail, as we know, but they've fulfilled their goal slowly, so that it hasn't been, it's normalisation slowly, so it hasn't been obvious enough for people to go, there's something not right here. But so they're blocking us seeing God's actual creation now, but it would be probably within the last decade that they've slowly built to completion, which is why I've been seeing 7s everywhere. Their setup, which is blocking the view of God's setup, which I'd probably be able to see now, knowing how to filter photography and that sort of thing. So if you can imagine a canopy over this, and that covers the earth and separates the heavens from the earth. Okay, this is what I believe is happening now. I believe the centerpiece with the demonic realm being in between God's and us. That doesn't put God out of control, I have to point out, but I believe that their centerpiece is draping over the sun, which is why I'm seeing not only a lot of manifestation and replication from the sun, because it's heat and light, but also it really does appear to fall away from the sun in a downward motion, apart from the tracks that they are still on. So I really truly don't believe that we're looking at God's sun. We're indeed looking at a structure, and it's demonic. And we're looking at machine to machine, 5G plus AI plus the fallen angel technology. The fallen angels themselves combined is everything that we're seeing. Further to that, if you look at it from a different perspective, I'm just gonna, whoopsie, heavens. And of course God's spirit can be anywhere. It doesn't matter if there's a demonic realm interrupting or in the way. They can do their worst, because it's a fail. It's the battle's won. Right, so now for the little piece of explanation that was asked for by a subscriber. Thanks for asking. I'm happy to explain. But there is a fence, and I believe there's a God created fence, and these have started from the fence, so I'm just going to go like this. See striations in the sky, which I always believed were EMF, but actually when you break them down, they're solid beams, structures. If they're not the tracks themselves, the tracks should look bolder, because they are the boldest, and they're underneath the fence. So if you can imagine it, hanging, things having to hang, and let's call it an upside down world, in that realm where it's like, to me, it's like a holding pen for sinners, leading up to judgment. But I'm going to draw another picture on the back of this, so that if you look at it from a horizontal, so the fence is there, these, through technology, have literally built hanging structures, and predominantly you see hanging structures like chains. They're literally like chains. If you really zoom in, I'll find some old work I did that shows bolts, chains, a lot, hooks and skewers like that go through a lot of their heads. So if you can imagine, the question was asked on a video where there was this big hanging skeletal looking thing, and that is indeed hanging from, when you go right back up to the nuts and bolts, it's hanging from the fence. So from there you'll see printing operations, and that's like 4D matter, which self-manifests, self-builds. You often see that coming out of faces, and it'll just, you see the face and then you'll see stuff coming out of it, and that matter will then make something of itself structurally, or like little AI minion demons, or both. So to get down, they can just keep building down in this fashion. I always, like, before I looked more closely at it, I thought the printing, I'll call it the printing and dispersion. Didn't realise it was pretty much always coming out of faces. So I don't know. I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything, but they seem to dispel it out of their mouths. And it's, as I say, usually small, I call them minion demons, which are AI, and matter that will just form structures. I really, really hope this has helped. I know it's not everything, but it's the best I can do in the time that I've got. And if you have any more questions, just fire away and ask. But that is basically how I believe the demonic realm has set things up. I did see a distinct change that happened virtually overnight, where they seem to master the whole film and the holographic screen-like film, I guess you'd say. So now they can just manipulate and show us what they want. If you know better, you can see beyond what people are normalised to seeing. And I just put up today, I put up a link with a short video if you want to know more about what they're doing with light, LED light, and that side of it. Watch that Demon Hunters video. It's really, really informative. God bless everybody, and I hope this helps.